What's going on, everybody? Peter Martin here. Welcome to the Jazz Piano Method. Welcome to this week's lesson. This is a very special week because this is lesson number 500. This goes back almost 11 years to when I first started doing weekly lessons. We've done one every week, and I'm so excited that you're here. I'm so thankful that many of you have been around since the beginning. Many of you have come and gone, but you guys are all here today, and I appreciate you so much. I appreciate having somebody to share the fellowship of jazz piano with, share some ideas, and I couldn't think of a better way to celebrate than we could kind of virtually play together some. So I've done a couple of recent trading lessons where we trade with each other, and you guys seem to enjoy those a lot. So I wanted to give you guys a little gift for week 500 for this celebration, and that is to trade over 3 or 4 tunes that I've done somewhat recent lessons on, but I've played a lot, and I think they'd be fun for trading. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to make some music to get together, hopefully incorporate some of the things that we've learned during these 500 lessons, you know, in a performance practice kind of situation, because that's what this is all about. That's why we practice. That's why we get together each week. That's why we have lessons. That's why we try to progress so that when we can play, improvise, that we can have some fun, have some ideas, expand our vocabulary, and all those good things. So the first tune we're going to do, September in the Rain. Did a lesson on this recently. We'll have lead sheets and links to the lessons below. But this is a great tune. I first learned this from Roy Hargrove years ago when I first played with him in 1994. He loved to do it. I always think of him when I play this. But it's a really fun tune to play over and improvise. Simple form. Well, you can go back and see the lesson if you didn't. Today we're just going to have some fun and actually play over it. But it's an AABA form. So what I wanted to do is we're going to trade 8s first. And I have some little notes here just so we can keep up with these things. But I want you to think about 3 different ways of practicing and 3 different ways for us to trade. I know I said the word practice and we're here having fun, but this is a way that practice can be fun when we trade and just come up with different ideas. But these 3 ways and what the framework is going to be is, first, you're going to solo only. Okay, that's your first, and we're going to do this over all the different tunes. And then you're going to solo and comp, and then you're going to play some bass lines for me. So you can pick any of those, you can skip some if you want, but that's kind of the progression and the general framework. So soloing is just going to be right hand, or you could do 2 hands, you can do whatever you want. We're going to be trading, but I'm going to be playing the chords and the bass lines for you during that time, during the first segment, solo only. And then when you solo and comp, that's kind of that thing. So I'll just be giving you a bass line. And I'll tell you as we go for each of these. And then the third is I'm going to be soloing. So you're going to be walking a bass line for me, okay? And then when you're in between, I'll go back to playing that for you, and then you can solo. But we'll talk about this as we go. Let's jump in. So we got September in the Rain, AABA form. We're going to start with trading 8s, okay? So we're going to do 2 choruses. I'm going to play 8. Then you're going to play 8, and we're just going to trade lines. So don't worry about comping or bass lines. I've got that for you. This will be a fun time to just really, you know, see what inspires you. Maybe something that I play, maybe something you've been thinking about. But I will look at you, as always, when it's your turn to play, okay? So 8 bars, I'll start soloing, then you get the next 8 bars, and then I got the 8 bars. So we'll do 2 choruses, okay? 1, 2, my turn first. thing, one more chorus. Your turn. Your turn. All right, good job. How'd you do? How did that feel? How did that feel? If there were some things maybe that you wanted to play and didn't quite get to, or you feel like you could have developed more, just rewind and take those two choruses again. Because what we're going to do next, you're going to be comping in your left hand. Don't worry about the bass line. I'll have the bass lines for you. And we're also going to shift to every 4. Okay, so I'll play 4. You don't have to do anything. And then you're going to play 4, soloing and comping. And I'll be doing just bass lines. So 4, 4, 4, 4, back and forth. 2 choruses, same thing. September in the Rain. I'll start out. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Your turn. right, there we go. That was it. Again, if you want to trade some more, just rewind back. I hope you did good with your comping. I hope it felt good. Maybe you responded a little bit to some of my double time stuff, the triplets. You know, when you're trading, we're listening, we're trying some things, nothing's required, but we're kind of interacting there. All right, now we're going to do our final wave for September in the Rain, which is we're going to trade fours again, 2 choruses, just like we just did. But when you're not comping and soloing, just like you just did, and I'm comping and soloing, you're going to be playing the bass line. Okay? So I'll play, we're going to let you start this time. So I'll start out with the bass line. You're going to be comping and soloing. And then after 4 bars, see if you can shift down to the bass line. Now, I can't actually hear you, but you can hear me. So it's okay if, you know, you have to stop it and go back or whatever. I'll be there. But when I'm soloing and trading my fours, I'm just going to be comping, rootless voicings, and soloing. Okay? So it'll be a great opportunity for you to work on your bass lines. You can do 2-feel, you can do 4-feel, whatever you want, walking bass line. But the idea is that you are making those transitions every 4 bars, which will be a little bit of a challenge, okay? Good stuff, good stuff. All right, ready? So you're going to solo first. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. My turn. One more chorus. All right, good stuff. That's our 3 ways of playing over September in the Rain. Feel free to rewind and practice any of those. That third one will be a little bit of a challenge for some of you, but working on those transitions is great because in solo piano, we're doing so much. You know, transitions between comping, melodic stuff, while we're having to solo with the right hand. So it's excellent training for that. All right. Next tune we're doing, Have You Met Miss Jones? Because we just had a lesson on this a couple weeks ago, and a number of you are enjoying this. So this will be a great opportunity if you've learned the tune, or if you're learning the tune to kind of work on it. We're going to go through the same 3 ways. So starting out, we're going to go 8 bars, and we'll be a little bit more up-tempo, so this will be fun. But we'll go 8 bars, just soloing, starting out with just your right hand. I'll comp for you. I'll solo first. We'll trade 8s, 2 choruses. Ready? My turn first. I'll look at you for your turn. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, good stuff. Got a little tempo going there. Now, I eased your way into it because you didn't have to worry about the bridge where the changes are a little bit tricky, but this time you are because we're going to go to 4 bars, every 4 bars trade, and you're going to start this time, so you are going to get some of the bridge, which is great because that's part of the fun of this tune. And now you're going comping with your left hand and soloing, rootless voicings, or you can still just go single line, no problem, but I'm just going to be walking you a bass line, and you're going to be starting out, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Another chorus, you got it. Now, one thing to remember as we trade is we're trying to put together a cohesive solo together. That's the way this happens. Now, of course, normally if we were in person, we'd be listening to each other. So I'm trying to play things that you can play off, but it's always everybody's responsibility with trading to not just play their best stuff, but to try to kind of pull something together. And it can be really an exciting thing, but you got to practice at it. So rewind it as much as you want, and you got it. All right, now we're going to take the tempo down just a little bit for this last one so that you get a chance to make those transitions to the bass lines. We're going to go every 4 bars, and you're going to start out soloing. I'm going to play the bass line for you, and then you're going to play the bass line for me. So you're comping 4 bars as you solo, and then I'm comping and soloing, and you're playing the bass line for me. Okay? Ready? You're starting out. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, how'd that go for you? How are you making those transitions? That's some fun stuff in there, okay? Now, I want to just give you one little addition here because I think that this will be fun to kind of start to pull things together. We're going to do 2 more choruses, same thing, trading bass lines, playing bass lines for each other and soloing and comping, but we're going to stretch it back to 8 bars, okay? So when we practice and we get things kind of regimented like we do, it's always a good idea to kind of think about, okay, what is a way to present this to ourselves in the practice that's a little bit different as opposed to just going in a linear manner and just saying, okay, we're going to go through it exactly this way. And I think that this will be good to take some of the things that were maybe a little bit more frantic and ease them up. But because you're trading 8, so you have more time in between and you can settle into those bass lines. But the trading presents a new challenge because trading 8s can be a little trickier to make things cohesive than 4. So I think this will be a fun way to change it up. Okay? So I'm going to play first. Will this work? Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, so that I get the bridge. I'll play first 8 bars. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to, so that you get the bridge, you're going to start out soloing. So I will be playing the bass line at the beginning. You get the first 8 bars, then I get 8 bars, back and forth. Same thing, switching, comping and soloing for ourselves, and then bass lines. Just like what we just did, but 8 bars. Okay? So you solo first. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, there we go. There we go. We're having fun. We're having fun. All right, we've got one more tune now, and this one's going to be very different. Sing a Song of Song, the great Kenny Garrett composition. This is a little more modern stuff, but a lot of you like this tune. I've played it a lot. We had a fun lesson on it a couple months back. This one. And the solo section is very simple. Well, it's a little deceptive, because it's just 3 chords. So we got E major, C major, D major, and it's really with the dominant 7th. It's not that. C major 7, D7, E major. Now the E major has those little things, and we're gonna have some fun when we trade on it with those. It's got that scale. You can go back to the lesson to see about all this, but now there's a lot of ways. There's probably an official scale name for this. I like to think about it as A minor 7, A minor 9, A minor 11 even, with a major 7. C major, C major 7, C major 9, D, Mixolydian, dominant, and then back to the E. All right, so we're gonna have some fun with this. I'm gonna play bass lines for you, don't worry about that. Remember the groove? We're really gonna try to get that vibe. Drums are. I'll give you a little bit of the melody just for reference to get us centered, focused, so we get into the vibe of how we're going to trade and play over these great chords. Groove. Here's the melody for you to hear. I cack a note. Hopefully it sounds good. Now let's settle into the groove, and then I'm going to play first, and then you're going to trade with me. Settle into the groove. Maybe you're just doing a little bit, some octaves or something. should hear the drums and that groove, even when we're not playing with them. All right, I'm gonna start solo now. Your turn. Play the melody with me. Maybe up here. Fun tune, right? So, as we did that, hopefully you felt the kind of building up of the solo, which is something that you can do when you trade, kind of give you an idea for the form and the balance of how you're going to tell your story, whether you're trading or just playing over this. But a tune like this, where the harmony is very static, repetitive, it's a pattern that folds onto itself very quickly, right? It's not like playing through a whole form. It's just a few seconds, 10 seconds or whatever, and then it repeats again. So you have to do a little bit more to sort of build up the form and stuff, because there's not a set number of bars. It's just a repeating kind of thing. So it's a great thing to practice with trading. And I hope you enjoyed that. Hopefully you can find some people close by, pianists or otherwise, to trade as well. But it's a great skill to have. It's such an important part of jazz, and the audiences love it. We love trading, and the audiences love it. They love to see that interaction, that conversation. We know we're always having a conversation with each other, even if it's just a regular solo with accompanying, or if we're accompanying behind our... or with the bass. bass line or with the bass player. There's always a conversation. But trading is a way for the audience to really become a part of it if we do it well, because they see that conversation, they hear it, they can know. They're like, oh, she's playing, and then he's playing, and then, you know, it's a really exciting thing. So thank you guys for trading with me. Hope you had fun, and thank you. I appreciate you guys so much, more than you'll know, for being here for either one lesson or all 500. But this is 500. Let's see if we can do another 500. Next week will be 501, so I hope to see you there. So happy 500th lesson. Happy practicing. Happy trading. Peace and piano.